Do you ever wonder why Toriel has dark red eyes in her battle sprite? Are you bothered by the loneliness felt during certain portions of the game? Or do you just like to look for details that are not normally acknowledged by the general public? Hello, welcome to the first episode of A Few Interesting Undertale Observations, the newest series on my channel. This series will be a catalog of interesting observations I made during a friend of mine's playthrough of Undertale. This goes without saying, but spoilers ahead for Undertale. So with that, onto the video. Number 1. The Eyes of Toriel. Toriel has an inconsistency in her sprite that no other monster has. Her eyes are a dark shade of maroon. No other battle sprite has a color to them, with the exceptions like Asgore's trident and the many forms of Azrael. Is this some remnant of Undertale beta, or does it mean more for the story of Undertale? Number 2. A homely hearth. Continuing on with Toriel, there is something interesting about her fireplace. It's lit, which may not seem like an oddity at first, but upon further thought, it doesn't make sense. Where is the smoke going? It's probably not up to the surface, since monsters build the house. So does it go out into the greater underground? Perhaps this can be explained away with magical fire shenanigans, but there's also wood in the fire. Where did that come from? Toriel's tree in front of her lawn couldn't have provided it. It's still standing. Does that mean it came from Snowdurg? If so, does she top it herself? We know it can't be Sans due to Toriel's surprised reaction in the true pacifist route to its appearance. Once again, it can all be explained away through fire magic shenanigans and not needing wood, but there is something not adding up here. Side note, just as a bit of context before I talk about the next point, I need to explain what my friend was doing in Undertale. My friend, who I'll call Kat for brevity, decided that he wanted to do a playthrough of Undertale, and asked me what route to do. I told him to do the dog ending, so only kill Toriel, Papyrus, Undyne, and Mettaton. Keep this idea in the back of your mind for now. Number 3. Loneliness. If you decide to kill Papyrus in your Undertale playthrough, the game changes completely. Sans is completely missing after his brother dies, except for in the last corridor, and nobody has seen either skeleton brother. Normally, throughout Waterfall and Hotland, Sans and Papyrus would be a constant companion, whether it be Sans' pranks and various sentry station locations, or Papyrus' cheerful calls. Even in places you wouldn't expect, the game is changed. For instance, during Shyren's fight, if you hum twice, normally the flavor text is this: Sans is selling tickets made of toilet paper. But if Papyrus is dead, the text changes to, a hooded figure watches the commotion from afar. Could this figure be Sans, the river person, or even Dr. W.D. Gaster? We may never know. Overall, the feeling of the game goes from a cheerful experience to having a deep, foreboding sense of emptiness. Even a detail as small as the Welcome to Hotland sign not working after Papyrus is dead changes the entire Waterfall experience. This does become mitigated once Alphys replaces Papyrus' role in Hotland, but the feeling still lingers. Number 4. Shadows in the Dark. Hotland is quite a weird place if you think about it. Molten magma covers the floor, elevators take you all across various cliffs and ledges dangling above the boiling liquid. The core looms in the background, a creation of the elusive W.D. Gaster. The core will be talked about another time, but the background is not to be ignored. On all the various floors of Hotlands, many unnatural objects can be seen in the background. Gears that spin, powering unseen machinery, red, glowing pillars that slide back and forth to the music, and exhaust vents glowing red with heat. What are all these connected to? It cannot be the core, since it is far off in the background. So what is it? A creation of Dr. Alphys? The late W.D. Gaster? Or are they a natural phenomenon that was there long before the monsters who were cast into the abyss? Number 5. Big Fans, Square Robots. Mettaton states during the bomb defusal section of Hotland that he has 10 viewers watching the show. Although this number does dwindle to 8 at the report's end, it still stands to wonder which monsters actually have televisions. We know Sans and Papyrus have a TV, and Papyrus states he was watching the whole show if you call him in the second color tile puzzle room, so that's one viewer. Still, who are the other 9? Napstablook and Mettaton's houses also contain TVs, so at least Napstablook is one of these viewers. Alphys also has a TV in her lab, so maybe she was watching the show as well? That reveals 3 out of the 10 original viewers. Who are these mystery viewers? Probably just normal monsters, but we may never know. Side note, those are all the observations I have made from Kat's playthrough so far, but I still have more observations to share, but they won't be as linear as before. Number 6. A Scalawag Flag. Do you know where the pirate flag that Papyrus has in his room comes from? If interacted with during the date with Papyrus, he will state, Undyne found it at the bay. On its own, it does not sound special. Heck, the main focus of the dialogue is Papyrus saying that humans are descendants from skeletons. But this got me thinking. No area in a waterfall really matches the description of a bay, which, in case you were wondering, the definition of it is a broad inlet of the sea where the land curves inward. Waterfall does not have an ocean, or a large body of water in general. Most of the water in Waterfall is flowing through rivers, streams, and, well, waterfalls. So the question still stands, where is this elusive bay? Perhaps it was a scripting mistake, a reference to a cut area, or maybe Undyne lied about where she got it because she found it in the dump. I could just be taking this line way out of context or blowing it out of proportion. It may not matter at all in the grand scheme of things, but it is still food for thought. Number 7. Soundtrack inconsistencies. The Undertale original soundtrack is quite interesting. Most songs from the soundtrack are there, but not all. For instance, some short songs are included in the OST, like a dog bass, but others like Pre-Dummy are not. There is seemingly no reason for this. Also, certain songs are pitch shifted, slowed down, or sped up, like Bird That Carries You Over Us, Disproportionately Small Gap, or Death by Glamour. Also, for some reason, a single song that is nowhere in the game is included in the soundtrack, titled Song That Might Play When You Fight Sans. Even a song only used in the demo called Good Night is in the OST. These all may be on purpose just to mess with people listening to the OST, but we may never truly know. Number 8. Human Possessions. Toby Fox confirmed that all 6 humans before Frisk made it to Asgore before perishing. But how did their possessions end up strewn about the underground? Were they all thrown into the dumps of Waterfall and some monster just thought they were cool and took them home? Or is there something we do not know about the 6 humans? Number 9. That Comedian. Snowdurg is an interesting enemy. There is seemingly only one of him, because when you kill him, he no longer spawns. He is the only enemy without a static encounter to do this. If killed, he is replaced by Childrake. And if you fail to kill him before the Snowdun kill count is exhausted, the genocide route is aborted. Snowdurg is a footnote in the main story of Undertale. His mother is arguably more important, yet he's very mechanically interesting. Why would Toby Fox do this to a seemingly random enemy? Number 10. A Call Unheard. After you kill Undyne the Undying, she says, Alphys told me she would watch me fight you, and if anything went wrong, she would evacuate everyone. By now, she's called Asgore and told him to absorb the 6 human souls. Obviously, this doesn't happen, for when you approach Asgore, he doesn't even have his trident out, let alone the 6 human souls. So, what happened? Did Alphys decide not to call Asgore? We know she is alive, because if you abort a genocide route during Hotline or the Core, but kill enough monsters for Metatron Neo to spawn, whether by sparing Muffet or Royal Guard 1 and 2 or otherwise, you'll get Queen Alphys ending. So if Alphys isn't dead, what happened? This means one of 3 things. 1. Alphys decides not to call Asgore for whatever reason. 2. Someone tampers with Alphys or Asgore's phone. Or 3. Asgore decides not to use the 6 human souls to fight the protagonist. All 3 are plausible, but we can't know for sure which is true. That's all for this video. I realize this is a step away from my normal content, but thank you for watching anyway. I'm not abandoning object analysis, so don't worry. If there are any interesting topics that I can cover in my next video, leave them down in the comments. I also want to thank those who maintain the Undertale fandom wiki, as its contents helped me verify information in this video. Another thing, I want to make a separate mascot for each of my series, so what road sign should I use to make this video series? Hope to see you all in my next video. Bye. Once again, another unscripted part of the video. Gotta keep up that tradition, even across series. If you can translate the windings in the thumbnail, props to you, I guess. I don't know. Bye.